the first time
It's the same
ever,
we do every
We
week.
wore the same thing as last
This
week.
is actually the way we do it. We're revealing our process.
for the first time ever, we're gonna have a little bit of a best of, a clip show, if you will.
So we
We're
don't
gonna-
have to do a podcast this week?
We don't have to do a podcast. Well,
This is it?
we do. This is it. But we're
What
gonna.
week
When
is
will
this?
this air?
This is gonna air January 2nd, beginning of 2017.
What do we just record?
That was
28th.
December 26th.
6th.
Why don't we podcast that frequently?
Once every week. We did 52, I think, in 2016.
Let's just-
And this episode, we're going to talk about some of our favorite memories.
Why are we taking a week off?
Some of the biggest things. Someone told me that clip shows are
Because
good.
we're not the only people that work on the podcast, Gavin.
But the clip show shouldn't replace the real show
Why not?
because it's lazy.
We're still doing an intro.
Gavin's about to give the crew a whole extra day of work during the holidays.
This year, we had a bunch of guests join us throughout
Right.
the year in 2016. So we wanted to go over and highlight some of them. Do you all have any memorable guests that appeared on
Zach
the podcast?
Levi.
Barbara's usually my favorite. I knew she'd be so mad about that. I'd say Zachary Levi was good.
She was happy
I
about
was
it.
happy.
Oh.
You said I'm your.
I thought you were.
usually your
I thought you were
favorite.
upset that I called you a guest.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, I thought when you
Nah,
got.
I didn't take it
I
that
mean,
way.
but that didn't work at all. Then I was going for a shocked reaction.
Yeah, Zachary Levi
Barbara's
was
my
up there. He was pretty top. I think The Lonely Island was another one of my favorites.
Damn, was that you this year?
That was
I'm gonna
this year.
change my answer.
Yep. It was a good time.
Who's
Funny
your favorite?
having Jeff Keighley on it too,
Yeah,
especially since I kept
You fuckers.
steering the conversation into something very inappropriate.
That was good.
I felt bad.
That was unbelievably inappropriate. I mean, you're talking about shitting on people's dicks. I mean,
That was
he
not.
What
knew
has
what he was
happened?
signing up for.
What
Well, why don't we
has
take a look at some of our favorite moments with our guests from 2016?
like Barbara.
Better way to.
Seasonal meals, Gavin.
Do they get discount?
seasonal.
Seasonals.
He doesn't like anything seasonal, he said.
Why?
I feel like people just get overly excited about seasonal.
I keep telling you, you can get anything whenever. That's fine. Like fruit never goes out of season. There's never a time of the year when you can't get pears.
That's not true. Fruit always goes out.
He means more like the stuff that they hype, like pumpkin spice lattes.
I know what he means.
Yeah.
I want to now talk about
Like
this.
you can't pick a strawberry in.
I can't pick how many fucking strawberries are you picking?
I have
What-
picked in my lifetime probably 5,000 strawberries.
No.
What are you out doing?
Well, you
Do
worked in
go
the
like-
veg department.
You never went fruit picking as a kid?
As a kid, I did.
You fill buckets of fruit?
You're not the 14-year-old living in England now. When was the last time you picked a
I used
strawberry?
to pick gooseberries.
That's not a thing. It's a gooseberry.
It's a green hairy thing.
What the fuck? Where'd you live? At the Willy Wonka factory?
I lived in England.
Never
where
heard
they
of that.
Making shit up
I
all
think
the
you're
time.
supposed to cook them up and eat them in stuff, but I used to eat them raw because my dad did, and I didn't know that that was weird to eat them raw. I also used to eat them underripe, so they'd be like really crunchy and like.
Bitter.
But I loved them. I actually don't like raw. I don't like ripe or cooked gooseberries.
Just raw.
But
The schnozberries taste like
That's
schnozberries.
if
exactly
you
what I was
decide in February that you want a strawberry, you can get one.
Oh, sure.
Nothing goes out of season anymore.
Well, because of seasons. Like when it's winter here, it's summer somewhere else.
Right.
Right. You can get it. It just costs more because it comes
Global
out of play.
economy.
Aliens.
So one of the other things that
Somebody's
happened a lot
stealing
this year
Strawberry jobs. Yes.
was everyone was intent on torturing that old set of ours.
Oh, right.
I think you broke it.
That was by design.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to get rid of it.
And
So if we knocked it down,
it eventually worked. I think that was probably maybe one of my highlights for 2016 was the reveal we did for this new set.
oh yeah,
oh, that was fun.
that was well done.
I think that was the only time it worked flawlessly, right? Like in rehearsal, it didn't work.
Yeah, the video didn't play.
The
or
video didn't
something.
play right. Like
And-
there were a lot of variables that could have gone wrong.
It
But
was
I went-
funny too because the joke for that, the setup was that we were on set and you were late to the podcast, but you were on the new one. But that joke just wouldn't work today because you're late all the time. Now you're late constantly.
You know what
No.
my favorite podcast of the year was, though?
What?
This one. Like this bit.
This bit right now?
This should be a highlight.
What do you bit? Like they were like, how dare you? Like
Just
this
take
was
this
scripted
part
or something.
and play it again in the highlight reel.
That would be obnoxious to cut to this conversation.
All right, well, let's see some of the highlights from torturing the set from this past year.
And play the script.
I miss the old set.
No, I don't.
I'm just kidding. It's everything that people say.
Oh, crazy times.
So we have, our normal crew of people that are here on the podcast, and I feel like out of everyone who's here regularly, Burnie, you tend to be maybe the most explosive. You have the most standout moments, I think, from anyone here.
Okay.
I
His
think
eyes twitching right now.
yelling at people to shut up,
Because I'm trying to hold still.
yelling at people to shut up, or even doing Gavin or Google.
I just want to be a passionate person.
Except when he calls it Google or Gavin.
Let's not think
Stop.
back to that moment.
He's infuriating. He has to sit one person away from me because he's such an infuriating
Why?
individual.
We should see what happens if he sits here one week.
Because you're one of the smartest people on the planet, but somehow, like, your brain won't let anyone know that.
I just like asking questions.
Which sounds like something that you would say. Is that, and you also bait us with stuff.
You'll intentionally make something sound stupid to get a rise
Well, I don't know
out of
about
us.
that, but
I mean, that used to work.
he will bait us into conversation.
Now no one takes the bait.
I'm guarded.
I'm always dangling.
I'm guarded.
Well, why don't we check out some of the highlights for Burnie in 2016?
Highlights.
Oh no.
Lowlights.
There you go. A rational individual to me.
Hilarious.
All of those seem like very
You're
legitimate.
scary.
I like it when you get shaky.
I like it when I could see the vein on your forehead come out. Right there.
It's always
When
there.
was the last time you heard me yell in genuine anger?
Yell in genuine anger.
I used to be an angrier person.
Used to be a
You would never be able to
angry
tell
person.
based on the clips we're showing here tonight, I assume. But I used to actually be an angry person.
You slammed a controller.
Maybe
I broke an Xbox Duke.
Maybe once at
that's a long time
636.
ago. Maybe dealing with like holiday orders of DVDs like in 05.
No, because there was an event that I had to dive through dumpsters.
Oh,
after
that was yeah.
I was very yelly during that.
Yes.
But at least you know where all the dumpsters are around Austin.
Good lord.
And I know where they are too.
Want to remind everyone
Story to be told on a future podcast.
at
Bug
some
us
point.
about that later.
At some point, we'll talk about
Bug
that.
us about it later.
Want to remind everyone this episode of Receipt Podcast is thanks Casper for sponsoring this episode of the podcast.
Thanks, Casper.
I have a Casper mattress.
How do you have a
Fantastic.
Casper mattress? Because they sponsored always.
You only
There,
get the
yes,
free
sir.
stuff if you start a show.
Sponsor
If
of
you're
a
reading it.
certain show.
So we have an
I feel like
obsession, I think,
I've
with
been on a lot of podcasts.
And how much
But do
free
you
stuff
host
have
one?
you gotten? Doesn't make its way through,
Do
does
you
it?
produce
Nobody
a podcast?
hosts this.
I right here. So we're obsessed, I think, with food on this podcast. You know, we're trying to work out more ways to have more
I just like
opportunities
to eat.
to eat.
I love to eat.
I've been waiting to eat for half an hour. Some
Got
chicken over
steak
there.
off, pancake day.
I'm in the middle of trying to lose weight for Laser Team. My body wants to weigh 230 pounds. That's what my body wants to weigh. It wants to, and I could weigh
let
300.
it.
I could weigh 300 pounds.
That's what your brain wants your body to weigh.
If I just left it alone, I could weigh 300 pounds easy. But my weight goal weight that I try to get to is like 210.
You want to have a fat year?
I had a fat year. Being fat's so fun. It's so fun.
You
Why
should,
don't- why
you should
don't
have
you-
a fat year.
It's so fun.
I would just have a gut year. No, I wouldn't.
That would be
Would
me.
you do booze?
No, I mean, I don't think it's in my genes to be fat.
Try it.
Really? So what I would like to do, Blaine described to me that he eats well all week, and then on Sunday he eats an entire pizza. That's his reward
And
to
more.
himself. Like he just eats an entire home slice pizza.
so
Massive
good.
pizza. I know, right? But I'm like, when I finish eating, Gavin and I went to lunch today. By the way, I went to lunch with Gavin. That's crazy.
What?
That was like,
Where'd you eat?
that's like an eclipse. We went to Haymaker. I had a salad and poutine.
Oh, is it seared romaine?
Yeah, it's
good.
It's good. But I could have gone and ate somewhere right after that. I could
You had a salad.
and poutine. You know, they ordered poutine. I said I'm not having any. I probably ate half of that poutine. But I want to have a day where it's like I just eat and just don't stop. I'll leave a restaurant and go to another restaurant.
You might split a gut.
I think I could
That's
do
like
it.
me in the winter. I'm like you guys. I'm
Bulking up,
hungry
yeah.
all the time.
So
I'm right
hungry.
now. I want to eat so bad.
I wanna
I'm
eat all
so
the time.
bored of eating.
Why don't we? Why
I
don't we?
like how you mentioned food, and we all just like I want to eat so
Yeah.
bad.
Well, why don't we check out some of our interactions with food and what happened over 2016?
Yes,
Interaction.
let's do that.
Oh, sorry, that was not funny at all.
So why does only Burnie get a best bits?
Why do you think it's me?
You got your best bits.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of us on this podcast here.
But what does that mean? You think I was the only person in the food section?
No, you had a best bits before. You talked about
You're
Burnie
being
Moment.
angry.
I see what you're saying. Why am I the only person who got a dedicated section?
Yeah.
Because I yell and I get mad.
I mean, I like to think the
It was a
food
mad
bit was
section.
my personalized section.
Which bit?
The food.
I would imagine Miles got pretty mad in a couple different spots.
He gets happy mad though.
Yeah, he gets loud.
Yeah.
It's always interesting. It's always a different dynamic when there's like some of the kids come on. Miles, Chris, Blaine, Barbara. You're a bad influence on them whenever Burnie and I aren't here.
Yeah, I'm a really bad influence.
It's always interesting to me to try to peek in and see what you guys are doing.
Do you ever
whenever
watch the podcast
Burnie and I
when
are
you're
gone. I rarely do, but when both Burnie and I are gone and it's like an unusual cast, like when you
Unusual.
were on with Blaine, Miles, and Chris, like
Yeah.
I gotta pop in and see what's going
That
on.
was one of my favorite podcasts.
And I think our next segment He's going to showcase what happens when the kids take over. Wasn't
You're
in
a
any
terrible
of those.
host.
I'm a terrible host.
Wasn't that
I'm
great?
awful. I'm giving
It's like you're
about
making people feel bad for
10%.
watching the show. Why'd you make the show?
Why shouldn't they feel bad?
Giving
I
us
don't
an
understand your
hour and a half
question.
of their life. You're like, wah, wah, after every single one of them.
I laughed a few times.
Like that. That's
Yeah.
how you did it.
It's good. It's a genuine laugh.
Yeah.
No.
Are any laughs ever really genuine?
Yes,
No.
Gus. People have happiness and joy in their life.
What
They
is
just-
the
none
next
of them are on this
day
podcast.
we could do a podcast? Just to make up for this one.
We could do one tomorrow.
I would do it.
You know, it'd be a good idea for a podcast, which they're going to nix. But we could come in and we could just run all the equipment ourselves and see how well we could do it. Like,
I don't think we could get it.
They all
going.
look
I
like
don't
they're
think we could start
good to
it.
game
I
for
saw
that.
a lot of thumbs ups.
you
Lot
guys
of
would
thumbs
want
up.
us touching your equipment. That's what you'd want
I
us to
think
do.
the fact that they don't have to is.
The fact
worth it.
they wouldn't have to
They
be
can
here.
take off tomorrow's Monday, Tuesday. I
I'll
assume it would be.
switch.
They can take off tomorrow night, and we will do it.
Switch. Yeah, I have no idea how that stuff in there works anymore.
I think here's what we're going to do. As a thank you to the wonderful crew that produces this show all year long, who works hard, not producing not only this show, but they produce
shows.
all of our studio shows. Always
And this
open,
thing's heavy.
off topic. They have to sit through every on the spot. Here's
So
Halfwits
sorry.
is in here.
Theater mode.
New ones we're working on. Theater mode's in here as well. They said that. What else? What am I missing, guys? Patch. R.I.P. to the Patch.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in Patch.
You know how on the patch I would throw stuff at Ryan
Right.
and escalate the size of the object?
I missed that part, but okay.
On the final patch, can I just ride a wrecking ball through the set?
Oh, that or throw a barrel at him.
Yeah.
Like a wooden barrel.
Why don't you just throw Gus at him?
Yeah.
I assume that's already happened at this point. Maybe I did
Pick
it.
me up. Yeah. Put me in one of those doors and throw me.
Gus seems like he'd be super heavy because he'd be all dead weight. Like
Yeah.
he's got no.
I'm just dead on the inside.
No, you just got like no muscle tone. So you just be like, you don't even like hold yourself up. It's more like just gravity settles your bones. in the right
ragdoll.
way.
Yeah.
Like an erector set, like a broom that somebody's leaned in the corner.
I'll be your erector set.
All right. Well, as guys, thank you so much to the entire crew who works on the podcast. We don't
Thank
thank you
you.
guys enough. Let's try this as an experiment. As a thank you, why don't you guys take the stage, and we'll go end the podcast.
We can't end the podcast.
We'll try to figure out
We're
how
gonna
to
fuck
do.
up the recording.
We'll try to figure out how to do that. No,
Yeah.
so
We
you
might
don't want us
fuck up the
touching your
recording.
equipment. Now they're shaking their heads.
We should get everyone on the stage, though.
They realize that bit will make them stay later. That's what they realize.
We'll have
So-
to redo work.
So this was our first podcast of the year.
2017.
Yes.
January 2nd.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
So I'm expecting that was
All stuff from
You're now
last year.
obligated to be a good crew for an entire year. It was like a predated. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Happy Jew.
Thanks for putting up with Gus.
You're welcome.
Love you the most.